Before we begin, I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually sit with it, not answer it quickly, and not in your head, but in your body. What version of yourself are you still dragging into your future? What version of yourself are you still trying to bring into your future? Here is what I have learned. And here's what I'm still learning, honestly. Most high achieving women do not fail from lack of ambition. They struggle because they're trying to build this new life with the habits, the patterns, identity of a version of themselves they have already outgrown. They're expanding in strategy, but they are contracting in self. And today, I want to talk about that, about what expansion really requires, about regulation, not as a wellness trend, but as a leadership practice. And I want to share my story with you because I'm not sharing this from the top of the mountain, but I really am sharing this from the climb that I'm making right now. There was a version of me, she's still not that far away, who had built something real, a network, a reputation, a mission she believed in deeply. And yet, she was attached to specific outcomes, not just goals, outcomes, timelines, numbers, proof. If things didn't land the way she pictured them, she didn't just adjust the strategy. She questions herself. She questioned herself entirely. She kept pushing and hurrying at the expense of quality, at the expense of depth, at the expense of the very relationships and experiences she was supposedly building all of this for. So speed felt like proof she was serious, and stillness felt dangerous. And underneath all of that, she was confused about what she actually wanted. Not in a lost kind of way, but in a quieter way, kind of more painful way. She was achieving, but something felt hollow, like she was running hard toward a finish line that someone else had drawn. Can you feel her? Because I think you might know her too. And then, one day I woke up and I woke up not with a new strategy, not with a new offer or a new plan or a new coach. I woke up with a pull, this kind of quiet pull inward. I woke up wanting to go inward. And something in me was done performing this expansion and ready to actually leave it. I didn't know what that meant yet. I went to a few silence retreats. I was looking to uncover. I just knew that I couldn't keep going the way I was going and call it success. That's what I knew. But I didn't know the rest of it. And so that morning was the beginning of everything for me. And not because something dramatic happened, but because I finally stopped drowning out the voice that had been trying to reach me for years. And the one that I knew exactly who I was and who I was becoming. I listened to this pool and I started going inward. And what I found there wasn't a weakness. It was regulation. I want to be clear when I say this word, when I talk about this word, and what I mean when I say that word, right? So, because regulation is not just a breathing exercise or a morning routine. Regulation is, to me, is knowing yourself completely. Knowing yourself so completely that you stop overriding the woman inside you who is trying to lead. And so for me, understanding my design was a huge part of it. As a reflector, I'm literally built to sense and mirror the environment around me. And so I absorb the energy of people, spaces, decisions, and unregulated version of that is exhausting to be unregulated. Because you absorb everything and just call it being sensitive and but just feeling really responsible for everyone's energy, overriding my own knowing because that room felt urgent. And regulated version, it becomes greatest strategic gift. Reading rooms with precision, sensing what's aligned, really before anyone can articulate it. Knowing at a cellular level when to step forward and when to be still. And so that is not hesitation. That is choreography for me. And here's what I've come to understand about this expansion. You cannot expand into what you cannot hold. And you cannot hold what you have not regulated. And I think so many of us are trying to build a bigger life from this contracted, hurried, externally driven nervous system. And then wondering why nothing sticks. Wondering why the next level feels just as exhausting as the last one. Because the work is not just in your strategy, it's in who you are becoming. And so let me name the three patterns that I had to stop and I had to catch myself in. Pattern number one, it was attachment to the outcomes. And this one is sneaky because it looks like ambition, but there is a difference between holding a vision and gripping an outcome. And so when we grip, we cannot receive. We're so focused on a specific shape of what we want so that we miss a version that's actually trying to arrive. So being regulated taught me to hold that vision with open hands. That was pattern number one. Pattern number two, hurrying at the expense of quality. So speed became my armor. And if I was moving fast, I was winning. If I was still, something was wrong. But hurrying was just anxiety wearing productivity clothes. And the work I'm most proud of, the connections, the insights, the breakthroughs, none of them came from rushing, came from presence. Expansion requires pace, your own pace, not the world's urgency. And that was pattern two. And pattern three was just really this confusion about what I actually wanted. And this was the deepest one. Because, when you spend years building toward external markers of success, revenue, recognition, reach, it can be generally disorienting to ask, but what do I actually want? What does success feel like in my body? Not just on my spreadsheet. And so the answer to that question is not in your strategy or your next event, it's in the quiet. And the quiet only comes when you're regulated. Regulation gave me back is really, I want to tell you what regulation has given back to me. Not someday, not when I have arrived, but right now in the middle of still becoming, it gave me confidence. Not in the performed, not the kind you put on before a stage, but the quiet, this quiet internal kind. It's just knows who I am, trusts what I know, and I don't need to prove it. It gave me conviction, the ability to make a decision and mean it, to say yes from my whole self, not just from my ambition, trust in myself. And this one is the biggest, trusting myself. The old version of me overrode her own knowing constantly. It was no time. It was just business. There was just no time to even listen to that voice. That's why that was overriding it. And the women I'm becoming, she listens to it. And here's what has not changed, actually. I'm still going after my goals, fully, unapologetically, but differently now. Aligned, regulated, grounded in who I actually am, knowing when to move, knowing when to wait, trusting that choreography, even when I cannot see the whole dance yet. Here's what I want to leave you with today. If you are a woman who has built something real, who is successful by every external measure, and yet something still feels misaligned, hurried, hollow, that is not a signal to work harder. That is an invitation to go inward. Because that's exactly what I experienced. That's exactly what I felt. And the next level of success is not a new strategy, it's becoming the woman who can hold it, regulated, grounded, integrated, with a deep embodied knowing of who she actually is. And that's the hardest work. And it's a work that changes everything. Because when you choreograph your expansion from the inside, not from urgency, not from fear, not from someone else's timeline, everything you built from that place lasts. So before you close this episode, one question: where are you still moving as the old version of yourself? Depending on that answer, choosing differently. So let's close your eyes for a moment. One hand on your heart, one on your belly. Breathe slowly and just ask yourself, what does my regulated, expanding self already knows that I have been ignoring? And trust the first thing that comes. And if today's episode resonated, share it with someone who needs it. And if you're ready to do the work, the deep work of choreographing your expansion, come find me. Until later, my beautiful world.